today's video lecture, we are going to see what is conformal mapping and infer how exponential function is conformal and some properties related to exponential function and conformal mapping. We got a brief idea that angle preserving functions are called conformal mapping. So for that we need two smooth maps, gamma 1 and gamma 2, and we are drawing the corresponding tangent lines at the point of intersection, and then we are applying the function, and the corresponding smooth curves paths smooth curves or paths are mapped to smooth paths in the image set, and we are considering the tangent lines at the point of intersection, which is f of z naught here the in the domain it will be z naught, and then you have an angle there, and we are saying that if both the angles are same, then the function is conformal at that point z naught. So if we are moving forward, we need an official definition which is very precise. So the definition says a function f from G to C, where G is a region, connected and open set of complex planes, such that f has angle preserving property, which is a property we just mentioned, and limit z tends to a modulus of f of z minus f of a divided by modulus of z minus a is existing. Then we say that f is conformal. This just means that the derivative at every point inside this region is existing. Okay. So from the definition itself, we are moving on to two remarks. The first remark says, suppose f is analytic, the function from G to C, and f dash of z not equal to 0 for any z, fine. Then by the above theorem, yes, by the above theorem means theorem 3.1. Theorem 3.1 just made us understand that if f is analytic, then f preserves angles at every point where the derivative is not equal to 0. So we are assuming f is analytic and this, that is, we have the hypothesis of the theorem 3.1, right? So then by the above theorem, f will definitely preserve angles at each point, and the two properties are satisfied. That means f is conformal. Very simple. And also if f is conformal, then from the definition we know that f dash is existing for every point in G. That means f is analytic also in G, right? And we have to say that they are preserving angles. Yes, they are preserving angles because f is conformal. We are going to say that f dash of z naught is not equal to 0. That means the converse of that, converse of the statement. This statement, in the first remark, it is said that suppose f is analytic and f dash of z not equal to 0 for any z, then f is conformal. The second remark, we are going to prove that if f is conformal, then f is analytic as well as f dash of z not equal to 0 for any z. So we know that f is analytic from the definition, and now we are going to prove that f dash of z not f dash of z is not equal to 0 for any z. So for that we are taking two smooth paths gamma 1 and gamma 2 to talk about the angle between them at the intersecting point z naught, which is equal to gamma 1 of t1 and gamma 2 of t2, both are same. We need to assume that gamma 1 dash of t1 not equal to 0 and gamma 2 dash of t2 not equal to 0 to draw the tangent lines. That is the logic behind that. So Here we have the angle theta, that means if we are able to calculate the angle theta, that means we are able to think about the tangent lines, that means gamma 1 dash of t1 not equal to 0 as well as gamma 2 dash of t2 not equal to 0. And here we are able to, we know that it is angle preserving because we assume that the function is conformal. So this will be also theta. And since we are thinking about the angles and the tangents, we definitely know that sigma 1 dash at t1 is not equal to 0 as well as sigma 2 dash at t2 is not equal to 0. Sigma 1 dash is nothing but f dash of gamma 1 of t1 into gamma 1 dash of t1, right? And we know that gamma 1 dash of t1 is not equal to 0. That means this has to be not equal to 0. But f dash of gamma 1 of t1 is nothing but f dash of z naught, that is not equal to 0. Similarly, we can say f dash of z naught not equal to 0 from sigma 2 dash of t2 not equal to 0. So we obtained that. Thus, f is conformal will imply that f is analytic as well as f dash of z not equal to 0 for every z belongs to G. Now we have a small remark which says that if e raised to z is taken to be the function, it will be conformal. Definitely it is conformal because we know that e raised to z is analytic. It is actually an entire function in the, because it is analytic in the entire complex plane. And also exponential function never takes a value 0. So e raised to z is not equal to 0 for every z belongs to C. So definitely e raised to z is conformal. It is a very trivial thing. Now let's deal with the next sections as some parts. In the first part, I am going to assume that the function is c plus iy, where c is fixed and y is varying. So I'm going to think about how the function behaves for this image set, for this domain set. Okay. So the domain is c plus iy. When we are drawing, you get a vertical line, and this is c. X is equal to c, right? And y is varying. So this will be the line. And when we are trying to work out f of z is equal to e raised to z, right? So here we know z is equal to c plus iy. That is equal to e raised to c into e raised to iy. Let e raised to c be r. So that is equal to r into e raised to iy, which is nothing but a circle with center at the origin, and the radius will be e raised to c. So this domain set will be having the image set to be a circle with radius e raised to c and center at the origin, the W plane. Next, think that z is equal to x plus id. Okay, here there is, in the first part there is a small change. Uh, we are assuming that z is equal to c plus iy. Okay, and then applying function. Here we are taking z is equal to x plus, in the next part, x plus id, or we can say that is equal to y is equal to d, right? And here the x is varying from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, so that means when we are drawing the domain set, this line, this horizontal line will be y is equal to d, or x z is equal to x plus id. Think about the working out part. F of z is equal to e raised to z, which is equal to e power x plus id, e power x into e power id, and let e power x is equal to r, right? Since x is happening in between minus infinity to infinity, and exponential function, this is a real exponential function that takes values from strictly greater than 0 to infinity. So here the r will be happening in between strict inequality, 0 and infinity. So the range set we can say that that is equal to r e raised to id. D is fixed and r is varying 0 to infinity. So we will be getting infinite number of concentric circles uh, as we are changing uh, the values in the domain. For different x, we will be having different concentric circles. That will be the range set. And in the third part, we are uh, telling about the period of e raised to z, which we had already dealt with. We said that that is nothing but 2 pi in, where n is varying from z, and we had seen such illustration when we were dealing it before, and we said that horizontal strips of 2 pi height are drawn by drawing the lines 2k minus 1 into pi, where k belongs to z, and when k is varying in z, we are getting the lines to be pi minus pi. There is a slight difference there because this is um, the minus will be here. Yes, we'll be having pi minus pi, 3 pi minus 3 pi, 5 pi minus 5 pi, and so on. When we give values for this k from the integers, set of integers. And we said that e raised to z behaves the same in each of these horizontal strips. So, in order to make this e raised to z 1 1 nature, having 1 1 nature, we have to set the domain to be one particular horizontal strip. So that is an observation we get from there. Okay, the next we are moving on to some questions and we are ending up this video. These are very simple questions which can be inferred from what we just discussed now. Okay, the first question is find the range set of the following domains under the function exponential function. The three domains are given. Find the range set using what we just discussed now. And the next question is check out the behavior of log z and principal branch of logarithm on the range sets obtained for each of the uh, domains here. Okay, then we know that exponential function and logarithmic function behave the in the converse manner, right? So find the behavior of logarithmic function and principal branch of logarithm on those sets you are obtaining. So that is all for today, and thank you for being throughout the video watching, and see you in the next video lecture. Thank you again.